So like there's this initial agitation, and the whole journey of seeking and looking for something starts. And it's invariably fueled by a number of factors. One, probably the most predominant, is that life's not working, so you're looking to try and obviously make life work. So what happens is you engage in this journey looking to make life work, um, which means you're looking to change. You're looking to change from the situation that you're actually in into something a bit better. Hence the whole idea of trying to go somewhere and engaging in practice, because you believe if you do certain things, you'll get to a place where things will be better. Um, and that in itself brings up lots of issues and lots of other things as well, which is probably outside the expanse of this video. Um, so yes, we're looking to change. We're looking for a better day, better place, whatever you want to call it, really. And what we do is we look outside ourselves, and what we really need to do is look right where we are. What we need to do is actually start from a position of accepting what's going on right now. Because one of the ways to change is easy or hard, or doesn't happen at all, depending on who you talk to. Some believe it can happen and it's easy. Change is in an instant. Some believe it's quite hard because you're battling so many different patterns, from patterns set in your childhood all the way through to patterns running through your family, like in a sense generational. And some believe that one of the ways you can change is accepting. Now I'm going to talk about kind of accepting. And everything's kind of happening in this moment. While this moment is here, it's here. When it's gone, it's gone. That's where the concept of time kind of comes into it. And what we find is we look for everything outside ourselves, but we don't want to look at ourselves, and we don't want to look at our situations, because looking at your situation and looking at the problems you're in, or whatever it is, or the apparent ideas or the apparent problems that you're in, takes courage. And very few people, although they have the courage, will ever take that step. It's not a case of some are better than others. That's not the case at all. Some just don't have that courage to. Sorry, some never exercise that courage to actually kind of take that step and actually look at what's going on. What you find is, a very dear friend of mine, what she says is, like seeking is like there's a mountain, and then there's this resolution of the seeking. That's a time when there's, in a sense, no mountain. And then what happens is it comes back to the mountain. So what I understand of that, and what I take from that, is that at first was this whole idea of a story, a drama. You're trying to get through to something or whatever, and then you get to this point where it all makes sense. Now, what you do find is a lot of people do get stuck there. So they get stuck into their point or their approach. So they've got to talk a certain way, they've got to be a certain way, and woe betide anybody who's coming out with something else. Now, what happens then is, if you decide to stay there, you stay there. As I say, you stood there, you're looking at the face of God. That's all you're doing. I'm looking at my beloved. It's just another expression. Um, if you're here, like as in you're live, you're alive and stuff, you invariably, that you'll find that experience, that state or whatever you want to call it, will invariably pass, and you come back down to earth again, and you're faced with your day-to-day realities. Like, I did a talk the other week, and somebody asked me, is it all about blissed out states? And I go, look, the first thing I can recall from, when I stopped looking for anything, was that I still had to come back to my cockroach infested flat in Glasgow. And since then, I've had to kind of, in a sense, work and actually, like really confront life and actually do what I need to do to make life a better place. And that's the bit that most people don't want to do. Sometimes we're so in our conceptual understanding or our theoretical understanding of this thing, that it's such a lovely place that we don't want to leave. We don't want to leave, but invariably you always have to constantly, in a sense, let go. Well, as someone asked today, if the point is and everything are let go of, then what? Well, it's quite simple. You go back into life then, and you have to deal with life. As it is at the beginning, so it is at the end. Like the Buddhists say, before enlightenment, chop wood and carry water. After enlightenment, chop wood and carry water, which basically means you go back to where it is, where it always was, right here. Now, when that happens, you're faced with, as my friend says, you're faced with the mountain again, which basically means the problems are still there, the bills still have to be paid, and everything has to be done. But now what's happening is you're coming at it, and it's no different to what it was before. There's just a knowing now where there wasn't, but the same life is still there. You're still there, still doing what you're doing. Now what's happening is you're just kind of dealing with it in a bit more of an efficient way. You're realizing that, okay, look, there's certain things I need to resolve in my life. There's certain things I need to do. Now, change can happen when I accept what's happening right here. So rather than turning away from it and trying to use a point or a concept or something to justify the crap, that's going on in your life. So, oh, it is all an illusion. It's a great way of actually not confronting what's happening right in front of you right now. Now, I know that can be countered with but who is it there and everything, but let's be honest about it. If you're on that thing, then you're just boring. You're just being silly. Let's be honest about it. Things still have to be done. Even a lot of the speakers who talk about this stuff invariably know that there's still a practical element to all of this. You still have to get up in the morning, you still got to navigate through life, you still got to do all of that. But sometimes by the very knowing or the very talking of this, you put in a separation. But again, it's something that is going to happen because you're going to make comments, you're going to talk to people, you are going to share your truth to other people who may not be traveling where you're traveling or where they are elsewhere. So if you see that, then there's in a sense there's more allowing of what's kind of going on. So I find it interesting sometimes that I can post stuff up on Facebook, or people post stuff up on Facebook, and there's some really great stuff being posted up by people, and other people will take it out of context, or because really we're looking at a one-dimensional communication. Even this right now is like in a sense one-dimensional. You're just hearing a voice and stuff. There's no accounting for body language, the moment that this is happening and why this is happening, why this is being said. So in that sense, it's like a case of you have to, in a sense, kind of go past all of that and look at what's kind of, in a sense, being shown. But what you do find is that you have to go from this conceptual idea of reality into a practical idea of reality, because now that you've been to the place where there is this moment of no mountain or whatever you want to call it, you invariably have to come back, and that basically means then navigating life. And then that basically then means is you've had your soiree, you've had your little holiday away from life, but life's still here. It was there when you were taking your holiday as well, but it's here now, and you have to confront it. And if you want to change, one of the things that you could do to actually kind of make change happen is to accept what's going on. True acceptance of what's going on. So it's very similar to that point of actually getting to that point where you realize you've got to stop lying to yourself. That this is what's going on, you're seeking or whatever you're doing, and then the idea of seeking may drop away. Then as you travel further, what you find then is that it's a case of you have to deal with things. You have to become, like, in a sense, a very practical kind of a person. You have to realize that this isn't just about something that can be talked of in a room. This is something that should be affecting every part of your reality and improving it or not improving it, or helping you kind of cope with, or helping you navigate the ups and downs of life. In a sense, kind of recognizing the ebbs and flows of life, as Krishnamurti would say. And seeing that they don't really have much of an effect on you. In that sense, you end up in a very dynamic state of living. Well, not state really, but you end up in this dynamic way of living, in the sense that you're very practical about what you do, because you realize that yes, it's very easy to get caught up in that lovely little place where it's all just happening, or this or that, but sooner or later it's all happening isn't going to pay the bills. So you have to get practical and stuff, and this knowing has to become a practical reality, and then that's when it turns into something that's practical and stuff. And that can start from accepting what's going on right now, accepting this moment or whatever, because sometimes just that simple acceptance can set off a chain of events, which is absolutely incredible. So yeah, I've gone all over the place with this video, but the general gist of it is accept what is, accept what's going on right now, and then the change that you so desire, or the improvements or whatever you want in your life will come to pass. Some of the most successful people in our society, in whichever way, whether it's in a material, physical, or spiritual way, are people who accept what's going on right now, and they deal with it, and they deal with it on a moment by moment basis. They don't hide behind a concept or a religion or approach or anything like that. They're facing life head on. And it's really as simple as that. It's really as practical, and it should be as really easy as that. So there you go. There's another one done, and I'll see you on the next one.